Welcome gamers to episode 39 of Pocket Edition, GameCast's bite-sized podcast where we try to break down the big talking points of the week and give it back to you into a nice bite-sized package. Today I'm joined by Mark and Sarah. How are you today, guys?
Pretty good.
I'm pretty good too.
Fabulous. Everybody's great.
We said good, not great.
Oh, I apologize. My bad. I'm sorry for assuming your current state.
Assume my mood.
But Orange, or Sarah, how have you been? It's been a long time since we've had you on.
It has.
It's hard to get you on due to our geographical locations.
Yeah. Well, you're lucky today because it's bank holiday for me, so that's why I'm around. No, I'm good. Playing not much actually, but been spamming Overcooked 2 like nobody's business. I love that game. It's amazing.
You reviewed number 1, didn't you?
I did. It wasn't on the. It's not on the channel though because it was my test reel review, as it were.
Oh.
So it's like a hidden gem that no one knows about because it's actually not very good.
Maybe we'll just post the unlist link in the description box. For
Yeah.
Just go check it out.
Should be doing a review of the second one in the next week or so, I hope.
I also hear you've been playing a lot of shitty games lately. Tell us more.
Yes, I have.
Why would you do that?
Because I hate myself, clearly. No, for the sake of entertainment, because I have a new show on the horizon, which is coming along nicely, and it's dubbed World's Worst Games. And it's basically going to be taking a look at some of what the internet and people in general consider the worst games in history. And I'm subjecting myself to them. So
the first episode will be E.T.
Probably.
Nice.
Should start as we mean to go on, right?
Oh, it sounds really cool. So from this series we can, or at least from what you've told me, we can expect a little bit of history about the development of each title. Mm-hmm. And you'll kind of be giving them a re-looking and a 2018 opinion of how it holds up, whether you think its criticism was fair when it launched.
Yep.
Something along those tracks.
Yep, sure. And I'm going to be keeping a little league table as well. So at the end of each look, I'll be putting the game where I think it sits on the overall World's Worst Games league table. And if the series ever does come to an end, it will end up with a number 1 spot. But
now, when can we expect, roughly, this new series to drop? When should we have our eyes peeled?
At the moment, I'm still aiming for maybe the second week of September at the moment.
Ooh.
So,
all right.
Yeah.
2 and a bit weeks away. All right. Fabulous. Mark, what have you been up to? Lay it on us.
I've pretty much been exactly where I was last week, except now the Octopath review is out.
Hey!
Oh my lord. It's finally occurred.
Took me a long time.
Alright, well.
It's a big
That was a good
game.
review, by the way. It's very good.
I still haven't done the final secret stuff, but I have rounded out the experience. I may or may not have a second opinion that comes out later, but expect that 2019 or something.
Perfect. All right, I love it. All right, guys. So today we're actually here to talk about, I'm going to call it a rumor until we get confirmation from Microsoft, but a news piece out of Windows Central by a guy, a journalist, a dude called Jez Corden is reporting that Microsoft is planning some kind of new subscription service for Xbox and consumers called Xbox All Access. Now, essentially what this nets you is, and there's no news on when this could be happening, what generation this could be happening in, no pricing models, nothing. All we have is an overall idea of what this service is going to entail. And basically what it entails is you get an Xbox Live Gold, and Xbox Game Pass bundled into one package under Xbox All Access. It is a 2-year contract where you pay monthly and you basically pay off an Xbox, kind of the same way that phone contracts operate. So what do you guys think about this? This is interesting, I think.
Look, it's interesting that they're be working on something like this, because on paper it sounds risky and odd. Mainly because I immediately thought of who keeps track of the subscription, because it sounds like it's Microsoft themselves, instead of, say, a retailer like GameStop or EB Games, whoever you go to, taking care of that. Which means that it might be like some sort of like thing where you sign up online and they deliver it to you and then you make payments.
An important nugget of information is that this is apparently US only.
Which leads me to also believe it might be you go to a Microsoft store and do it. Because it seems weird to me that they'd, say, deliver the console to you for no fee whatsoever beyond the payment plan.
Apparently
it sounds odd to me, because I just never imagine a console like that. You can imagine your phone like that because it's this tiny thing that has happened for, the last decade plus, for more and more increasing plans and whatnot, where you don't really own it until sometime in the future. It just seems weird that a home console that you just plug into your house, plug into your TV system and things like that. You just plug it into your house. Yeah, it's not my day. It just seems odd that a home console, which I normally consider a fixture, to have a system like that. But then again, I'm not big on renting in general for things like games. A little bit different, but when it's like furniture, things like that, fixtures, I never consider rent. I'd prefer to own it.
Yeah, you do say renting, but however, this piece of information that Jez has put forward, he does state that you own it at the end of the 2-year contract, much like you would with a phone plan. So, also interesting. So that might appease you slightly, maybe?
I just use the term rent because that's probably the closest the closest thing that I can compare it to in sort of like the period where you're not owning.
Because it sounds less like a subscription. Like if you cancel any time, then they repossess your Xbox.
Yeah. and like what happens to the money that you invested, or like.
Yeah, that's it.
Does Phil Spencer come knocking on your door?
Oh fuck! I hope so. With his glorious hair and his Battletoad t-shirts.
You see, you're a little light this month.
See, you're a little light on exclusives, mate. Get out of here. Sarah, what do you think? What do you make of all this?
It's interesting. I can see why it would be appealing. It's not unlike things that we have already, not for gaming, but for general things, like if you were buying like furniture or something that was quite expensive for your home, you often can get a pay monthly plan instead of a pay all at once. It kind of reminds me of those. Personally, I don't like those plans because I don't like the idea that I don't own something as soon as I have it. I like owning my things. I'm very possessive. So I prefer to just throw down £300 or whatever and be like, right, this is mine, done. I don't have to worry about it. It's mine for as long as I want. I do have, obviously, subscription services to things, but I don't know.
I think we're all at a point now where we have to start being very careful and selective about how many different subscription services we subscribe to. Because it's very easy when they remove that barrier of entry to just jump on board saying, I can easily handle $30 a month, no dramas. But when we already have our Netflix subscriptions, internet, phone, all these different subscription services, some of them contracts that are binding, it all starts to add up, like you said. Personally, though, if you remove all of that out of the way, from a consumer point of view and Microsoft offering something to consumers, I think it's fantastic. I think there's absolutely going to be some horror stories about people having their Xboxes reclaimed. I think Microsoft removing that barrier of entry is very smart. I imagine they're going to make a huge loss to begin with, because you've got to think about it. If they're removing that initial cost, they're literally giving away hundreds of thousands of Xboxes in the first month as soon as this service goes live. And they start posting out Xboxes. However, if they're locking people into 2-year contracts, that's insane, because let's factor something in. You buy into this contract at the retail price of an Xbox, let's just say the next Xbox, the next box, Mark.
Good.
When that launches, when the next box launches, they lock you in at the retail launch price of that. So you're binded by a contract to pay off the full retail launch price of that system. In 2 years' time, that system's probably $100 cheaper. So in the long run, Microsoft is making hand over fist more money than what they would selling people boxes on any given day. Like, bang, here it is, it's paid off, it's yours.
This is true. What if they also do that thing as well, though, where they start to up the price? Like, when you have a phone contract,
that's true, like they're making it a little bit more.
The odd text saying, oh, inflation, we've put your contract up by 85p. It's highly likely that they would start doing that as well, so you wouldn't even have that flat rate, potentially.
It's hard to tell. I mean, we don't know. I think that's a very murky grey area that applies to a lot of other subscription services as well.
Oh, yeah.
What else is interesting, though, is I think it's an easy way to lock people into their ecosystem. Because what if you offered, like, with phone plans, like, for example, myself with Optus, when the end of my contract nears, they offer me a new deal.
Yeah.
And they say, no fuss, just click yes, we'll send you out the new phone. What if that happens with Xbox? What if, hey, your contract's almost paid off, would you like to invest in the new model Xbox for this new discounted price? I think it's a way to lock people in to a longer scheme than it is just buying one Xbox. So I don't know, it's really interesting. I like the idea of having the entry barrier removed, but there also are some pitfalls if you are a consumer. And we know that from existing subscription services. And this contract is going to be more binding, much like it is a phone. Like, you get to keep the phone at the end. It's not like Netflix where you can cancel it anytime you want.
Yeah.
But being able to buy an Xbox or get sent an Xbox for zero money upfront for $30-something-ish a month and get access to 100 games as soon as you get that Xbox through Game Pass for free, that's pretty good. That is pretty good. I think it's going to be very enticing. I think a lot of people that probably can't even afford these machines or subscription services are probably going to jump on board. I mean, I think the question is now, though, if this is actually going to happen, which I personally think it probably is going to happen, because I remember hearing a rumor about this some time ago, and to me it makes sense. With everything Microsoft's doing with all their different services and plans, I could totally see them doing something like this. I think the big question is now, when will this happen?
It's an odd situation, just because, like we've mentioned it, it's just that we haven't had it done with home consoles before. So you can't really envision it. I think it would be interesting, say, if it is only Microsoft that does it, like Sony and Nintendo, or whoever else wants to develop a console, because apparently Google want to do something. If they start jumping on this. I mean, like, Google's not too far removed from a phone anyway.
No.
But so that'd probably be included as part of it, if they ever did that. We're talking massive speculation at this point. But I think it would be interesting, say, they introduce this subscription service, say, this year. 2 years from now, we've got the next box, the Scarlet, whatever you want to call it, and people are still on their contract for the current Xbox, and they might offer some transitionary thing onto that, and it might be
a transition deal, like a discount if you sign up to the next box now by renewing your 2-year contract.
So say when you initially go on for the Xbox contract, there's like a total amount that is getting paid off every month. So instead of saying like it's 35 every month, say it's like 500 total, and it's just decreasing every single time. Say that amount that is remaining in 2 years' time, whatever it may be, however small it may be, might be added on to, say, the Scarlet, or removed from the Scarlet.
Oh, yeah. Like it's rolled over, and whatever's remaining in contract is rolled over onto the new contract? Yes. Okay, that's interesting. I could see that happening. And again, I think that's a very dangerous prospect if you're a consumer.
Absolutely.
I think they either need to do it really, really soon, or they need to wait for the next generation, which, will be 2021 or somewhere in there 2 years from now-ish. Having said that, though, if they do wait, could you imagine if the next box, as in being the next generation Xbox, launches and there's no upfront costs? Can you imagine how well that thing's going to fly off the shelves? There is no upfront costs.
Like the Xbox One and PS4 at launch already flew off the shelf.
Yeah, and that was, a $300 something day one purchase. What if I don't even have to leave my house? I put in a pre-order 2 weeks before launch, I subscribe for 30-something, maybe $40-something a month. It's delivered to me day one with Game Pass, Xbox Live. Everybody is going to fucking subscribe to All Access.
But now here's the thing that just came to me. What if they did this subscription service thing, but there were multiple tiers for the accessories you needed for that console?
Oh, totally.
Yeah, because there's no reason to rent a console and then you buy the specific Xbox microphone or the specific controller separately. You'd rather have that
Absolutely. I could totally see them bundling in like the Xbox Elite controllers,
chucking a
all
Kinect
the
for
different peripherals.
for fun.
Yeah.
Oh, just clearing, get a free Kinect.
Just take it. We don't want it. You don't need to give it back.
Free Kinects. I could absolutely see them doing different packages. Absolutely. I don't know. There's so many different tiers and different models and different packages that they could do. And, you know, they could do limited run or special edition consoles. That's like limited time only. Subscribe now for a cheaper rate and get a limited edition console or something like that. There's so many different incentives they could have to lure people into the subscription service. I mean, when you remove that entry barrier, I know I've said this before, but when you remove that entry barrier, you're going to have a lot more people picking up Xboxes.
Yeah, they just need some more exclusives.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. It's like, that's all well and good, but then, you know, like, oh yeah, but you get 100 of games on Game Pass. It's like, yeah, but what are those games? Do I want them?
Because, like, say they're marketing, say 100% of the market, 50% of it has already got a PlayStation 4 or something similar in that generation, then the other 50% don't have any console this generation. So the whole subscription thing, having access to 100 games, would appeal to the 50% that don't have a console yet. Whereas the 50% that already do have a console are only missing out on the exclusive.
Yeah.
In which
What
case
exclusives?
Sunset
guys.
Overdrive, Gears of War, and Halo.
Halo 5.
That's like
Forza.
Like, is Forza improved
Recore.
since they were doing the other thing?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I don't know.
Yeah.
Sea of Thieves.
yes, I don't know. But you see, that's the other thing. I don't like when they call it a console exclusive and it's on PC. It's not really an exclusive.
It's true.
See, I stopped viewing it as being a console exclusive and more of a ecosystem exclusive.
It becomes a Microsoft exclusive.
Yeah.
Microsoft exclusive, exactly.
Like this is just my 2 cents of just the general thing is I miss choosing a console purely for exclusive.
That's true, because isn't nowadays with the Game Pass, you can get the Game Pass for your PC. So why would you sink the money for the Xbox when you just have the Game Pass for your PC and it's like $7.99?
Alright, I'll tell you why. Here's the reason why. You don't want to pay for Game Pass when the only PC titles on Game Pass are Microsoft exclusives. So there's about 5 of them.
Okay.
Yeah, right. So you get Forza Horizons, Halo 5, Recore, Gears of War 4, and maybe something else.
Sea of
That's the
Thieves.
only. Those are the only titles that will
I hate
work
that game.
via Game Pass on your PC.
Sorry.
Oh, savage! I've actually played it.
Don't.
I know Max doesn't like it either. Anyway, guys, let's wrap this one up. I mean, I don't feel like we've really gotten anywhere after all is said and done. It's kind of a little bit. I like the idea of it. I could totally see it being successful, and I totally think it's something in line with Microsoft's current trajectory and vision. I just don't know when it's going to happen and how it's going to be received. I think if they want this to succeed and to go gangbusters, I think it should be tied into the hype surrounding the next box when it launches next generation. I don't think they should do it now, because I think if people's contracts start rolling into next generation, I think it creates a different can of worms. And if that is the case, people are going to ask, well, what happens if my contract rolls into next generation? They're going to have to start being very specific about next generation, which is something I don't think they're going to do via contract talks. Does that make sense? I just can't. It seems too sticky. So I think if this happens, which I do think it is going to happen, I think it'll happen at the very beginning of next generation, and they'll use it to kickstart or launch their footprint into the next generation with the next generation of Xboxes.
I think that would be a sensible choice.
Because if they say we're gonna do it for the Xbox current, they'd have to do it right now.
They would want to start wrapping those contracts up before the next generation, I think.
And because they said that possibly rumor of it happening only in the US. Like, that's the thing of if you're gonna do it, you do it right now. Otherwise, wait until.
Exactly. What are your thoughts, Sarah?
I'm skeptical. I don't know.
You Brits, I tell you what.
Well, we are, as a British nation, I speak for the entire country when I say I don't think it's totally out of the ordinary that we are very skeptical, because we're always looking for, it's too good to be true. There must be a sting in the arse for this somewhere. And I've been burned by Microsoft before, and
Sea Thieves.
I'm always skeptical when they do things like this, because it's like, oh, that sounds amazing. There's got to be something there that will make you go, ooh, hang on a minute. I'm not sure about that. So I'm waiting for that to happen. I'm waiting for it to drop. Maybe it won't, but I feel as if it's there somewhere. Something in the fine print that you'll have to read.
If you break the contract, Phil Spencer owns you.
You will die.
You're an exclusive.
You must die.
It's like that MyPad episode of South Park, if you've ever seen it.
Yes.
I feel like that the easy hang on a moment, that's too good to be true thing could be hidden in the like the final costs of this contract. Like it could be slightly more than what the current retail price is of the machine. But they might be able to mask that secretly by saying, hey, you get discounted gold and Game Pass if you buy into this all access thing. So it might be a little bit grey in there. Like you might end up paying a bit more for the console than what you should have maybe. But who knows? We'll have to wait and see. Alright guys, well thank you for watching and listening to episode 39 of Pocket Edition. Let us know what you think of this down below in the comments. Could you see a subscription service being Xbox All Access existing or working now or in the future for Xbox? Would you be somebody who might consider buying into this subscription service? Let us know what you think down below. And of course, if you're listening to us on iTunes or SoundCloud, be sure to come over and check out our YouTube channel where we also have a variety of other content that you will not find on those streaming services. As well, come over. Blah, blah, blah.
Don't tell the people that.
Come on over and check out our Discord server. It's a nice little growing community. It's the best place to stay up to date on all things GameCast and to chat with us, your GameCast personalities. We're quite friendly, even though we sound a little bit crazy at times. Until next time, guys, have a good one.